Good morning, students. Today's class we will see the October 2016 nursing education and question paper. The first question was briefly explain the Bloom's taxonomy of educational objectives and discuss the course planning with an example. Bloom's and associate developed so-called Bloom's taxonomy of educational objective, the level arranged in the form of hierarchy so that behaviors at the level incorporate the levels below. There are three levels. One is cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. Cognitive level also concerned with knowledge and intellectual abilities. Affective domain discuss values, attitudes, interest, and appreciation. Psychomotor domain include concern with the motor skills. Discuss course planning with an example. A course may be defined as a series of studies leading to a graduation or a degree, as in the case of a BSc nursing course, requiring the completion of several short courses. So planning the courses for the instruction is called course planning. Outline of the course plan contain objective, specification of level of the learner, resource material needed for the course, unit plan, evaluation methods, and bibliography. So here I am citing a course plan in the nursing education. So the placement is in the fourth year. Theory 80 hours, practical 120 hours, practice teaching 3 hours per student. The course description. This course is designed to help the students to develop an understanding of the principles and methods of teaching and to equip the students with the beginning skills in teaching in clinical, community health and educational settings. So here the units are divided into 8 units, 7 units. So the time for each unit, learning objective, content, teaching, learning activities, assessment method, how you are going to assess each unit. So the assessment methods at the last by the references. Second question was define evaluation, enlist the purpose of evaluation, discuss briefly on essay type questions. Evaluation, it is the process of determining to what extent the educational objectives are being realized. It is a definition given by Ralph Taylor and it is a systematic examination of education and social programs. It is a definition given by Contact. Purpose of evaluation. The overall purpose will be provide information to enable each student to develop according to his potential with the framework of educational objective. The Bloom stated the following purpose. First one, to discover the extent of competence through which the student have developed in initiating, organizing and improving his or her day-to-day work and to diagnose his or her strength and weakness with a view to further guidance. Second, appraise the status of and changes in the student's behavior. Third, to assess the student's progress from the time to time and disclose students' needs and possibility. To predict the student's future in academic success. To provide basis for modification of a curriculum and course. To motivate the students for better attainment and growth. To improve the instruction and measuring devices. To locate areas where remedial measures are needed. Purpose of evaluation in nursing to determine the level of knowledge and understanding of the students at various times, to determine the level of students in clinical performance at various stages, to diagram each student's strength and weakness and suggest remedial measures, to encourage students' learning by measuring their achievement and inform their success, to help the students to acquire the attitude of and skills in self-evaluation and self-directing in their study, to provide motivation in practicing and critical thinking, the application of principle, the making judgment, etc. Essay type questions. These are being since ancient times and most commonly employed method of assessment of cognitive skills in nursing education. Some educators use them because essays have potential to reveal the student's ability to reason, create, analyze, synthesize, and evaluate. Educators choose essay questions over other forms of assessment because essay items challenge the students to create a response rather than to simply select a response. The two major purpose using essay questions. One purpose is to assess the student's understanding of and ability to think with the subject matter content. Second, the other purpose is to assess the student's non-content related attributes like creativity, neatness and writing abilities. How should essay questions be constructed? Clearly define the intended learning outcome to be assessed by each item. Decide which of the following intended learning outcomes lends itself better to assess by the essay question. Second, avoid using essay questions for an intended learning outcome that better assess with the other kind of assessment. Clearly define the situate the task within the problem situation. For example, less focused essay questions are evaluate the impact of diuretics on patients. More focused essay questions is evaluate the impact of potassium sparing diuretics on patients with hyperkalemia. Advantage of essay question. Assess the higher order of critical thinking skills, effective way of assessing complex learning outcomes that cannot be effectively assessed by other commonly used paper and pencil assessment procedure, evaluate students' thinking and reasoning, provide authentic experience. Limitations include assess a limited sample of range of content are difficult and time consuming to grade, provide practice in poor or unpolished writing. The third question was types of discipline. Authoritarian discipline, that is a traditional form authority of old over young, punishment for undesirable behavior. Second is democratic discipline. Students and teachers have mutual participation. Self-discipline, it is one of the true discipline, satisfy the need for satisfying the need of self and respect and security. Assertive discipline, clear expectation for required behavior is set out by the teacher. Specific, concrete and verbal prices are given for desired behavior. Preventive discipline, that means preventing the misbehavior to be occur. Supportive discipline, when signs of incipient misbehavior appear, bring supportive discipline into play. Corrective discipline, stop the disruptive misbehavior. The fourth question was types of counseling approach. It is directive counseling, non-directive counseling and eclectic counseling. The fifth question is aim of education. Utilitarian aim, vocational aim, social aim, intellectual aim, citizenship, physical health and well-being, character development, scientific advancement and mechanization. Education helps to find balance between technology-driven life and life of leisure, adjustment, objective and subjective aspect of the life. Cultural development, self-realization, mental and emotional development, autonomous development, self-education aim, international understanding, harmonious development of personality, education for leisure time, individual aim, knowledge aim, and morality, spiritual aim. Organization of learning experience. It should be done carefully, systematically, and sequentially. First, it should be continuity. It is achieved through the building each experience one after another. Second is sequence, building learning experience one over the other more deeply and broadly. And integration, relating learning experience in such a way that learner gets unified view of what thing has to be followed by while organizing the learning experience. Vertically, the learning experience plan for an entire curriculum have to be arranged in such a way that the learning progress week by week, month by month, year by year, and continuity and sequence are maintained. Horizontally, learning takes place in different times are automatically related to the learning of the other situation or a subject. Elements of organizing learning experience include grouping learning under subject heading, preparation for a master plan for the curriculum, placement for learning experience in total curriculum, preparation of a correlation chart, organization of clinical experience, type of teaching system has to be followed. Next question was advantages of computer assisted learning. It increases the accessibility of information, ease in updating content, personalized instruction, ease of distribution, standardization of content and accountability. Advantage of rating scale, easily used for large group, also used for quantitative methods, may be also used for assessment of interest, attitude, personal characteristics, used to evaluate performance and skills. Characteristic of learning. Learning is growth, learning is adjustment, learning is organized experience, and learning is purposeful and goal-directed. Purpose of a unit plan. Used a basis for developing teaching unit, lay a groundwork for good teaching through the extensive pre-planning. They can substitute for textbook. They emphasize evaluation. For guidelines for effective use of chalkboard. Don't write everything on chalkboard. There should be equal gap in between the words. Size of each letter should be equal and broad. Never use fingers in place of duster. Face the group after writing and continue the discussion. For purpose of three-dimensional aids, provide good opportunity to learn. It gives appearance of actual things which cannot be brought to the classroom. Interesting and enhanced creativity. Live things can shown, like example aquarium. Difference between idealism and naturalism. Naturalism in education stands for doctrine of follow the nature in education. It wants all education to be strict conformity with the nature of the child. It stands for complete freedom to be given to the child in learning. Naturalists do not advocate fixed curriculum. Every child is given right to determine his own curriculum. The learner is experienced to learn directly from the nature through personal experience. Learning by doing is naturalist are not in favor of direct teaching through the lectures or textbooks. They emphasize on value of concrete object. Naturalism advocate direct experience of things and believe in principles of learning by doing. Idealism believes universal mind main aim of human life is to achieve the spiritual value. Education is expected to enlarge the boundaries of spiritual realm. Aim of education is spiritual realization. Curriculum will be based upon the ideals and ideas. Idealists believe that ideas are only true reality. The material world is characterized by change, instability, and uncertainty. We should be concerned primarily with the search of truth. Since truth is perfect and eternal, it cannot be found in the world of matter that is both imperfect and constantly changing. Idealists have an idealized mind beyond everything. Difference between workshop and demonstration. Demonstration is the method of teaching by exhibition and explanation combined to illustrate a procedure or experiment. It is defined as an activity that describes or illustrates by experimental or practical application. During the demonstration, one displays, operates, and explains. Phases are planning and preparation phase, performance phase, and evaluation phase. The advantages include helps the learner in application of knowledge and skill in realistic situation. It useful in promoting transfer of learning from classroom to clinical setup. Workshop is defined as assembled of 10 to 25 persons to share a common interest or a problem. They meet together to improve their individual skill of subject through intensive study, research, practice, and discussion. Main functions include learn and new innovations and practice of education, solve problem in teaching profession, provide broad understanding of topic and the theme, provide philosophical and sociological background for instruction and teaching situation. Difference between OHP and LCD projector. The overhead projectors usually work with transparency slides. After all, it can't be print them in the middle of a presentation. Since LCD, that is liquid crystal display, projectors present what they send to them. They have no limits on what we can project or how much we can change it. If the computer or other video source can create it, the data project lamp. The two devices use very different types of lamps even though both are relatively small, bright and hot. Checklist and attitude scale. A checklist is a simple instrument consisting prepare a list of expected items of performance or attributes. Checklists are checked by an evaluation for the purpose or presence or absence. Checklists are constructed by breaking performance and quality of a product which specify the presence or absence of an attribute or a trait which is then checked by a traitor or observer. Observe one respondent at a time. Clearly specify the characteristic of behavior to be observed. Use only carefully prepared checklists to avoid more complex traits. The observer should be trained how to observe, how to record observed behavior. Use checklist only when you are interested in calculating particular characteristic. Attitude scale is used to assess attitude or belief of an individual. It provides for quantitative measures on unidimensional scale of continuum. It uses statements from the extreme positive position to extreme negative position. It generally uses a 5-point scale: strongly agree, agree, undecided, disagree, and strongly disagree. The individuals get a score as the sum of the item credits. It is usually standardized and norms are worked out. It discusses the attitude object rather than the directly asking about attitude of a subject. Education and teaching. Education is, on the other hand, more focused on transmission of knowledge to the younger generation rather than questioning the laws of existence, reality, etc., and production of new knowledge. When speaking of education, it is often believed that education performs two functions, namely conservative function and the creative function. Education occurs only when within the premises of a school and other formal education institutions, but also to the various social agents, like sometimes consciously, misconsciously, and even unconsciously. The family and religion can be considered two such social institutions. Teaching is a stimulation, guidance, direction, and encouragement of learning. Qualities of a good teaching include recognize the individual differences. Teaching itself is a course to learn. A good teaching provide opportunity for activity, involves guiding, learning, and kindly and sympathetic. Thank you.